Hello, my name is Beth Bedore, and I am the kidney goddess. Yes, I am. You know why? Because I claim myself to be that. I have kidney disease, and I have started a support group. It's on Facebook in order to get a Zoom link to come in and join us. And I would love to have you. And you have to RSVP for that with your email and your name. DMing me on Facebook in order to get that Zoom link because it is a private group, but it's open to the public. So with that being said, today's topic, this meeting has been shifted from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to the present moment. I have other obligations I need to attend to at 7 p.m. So we're doing it now, and I hope you can join. And if not, I hope you're watching the replay. And you're always welcome to reach out to me, either email at beth@thecreativelifebydesign.com or on Facebook, Beth Bedore, through the Facebook group, Best Kidney Support Group. And my business line is 704-281-9885. So there are many avenues to reach me, and I would love to chat with you. So today, the topic is we're going to discuss celebrating big and little wins, small wins, when you have kidney disease. So when you are dealing with a dis-ease in your body, a disease, it's always good in life to celebrate both the big and the small wins. It's always good just in life to celebrate, right? To be in gratitude and to celebrate birthdays and everything. And when you have a disease such as chronic kidney disease, or if you are putting a party together, a celebration together for a kidney patient, there are some things that you need to think about that you might not be thinking about when you're planning that party. So I'd like to discuss that today and why it's so important to go ahead and celebrate those wins, right? So when you're talking about kidney patients, they have very specific dietary regimens that they're supposed to be following. I don't know if I necessarily would say everybody does, but the people that do would appreciate if you would remember when you are planning the menu and people are helping you out with that menu to think about what can the people eat that are on, dietary restrictions. That person that you're celebrating with or for, what are they going to be able to eat? And all of your recipes might be having things that's not on our list of what we can eat, because we want to protect our kidney function that we have. And when we're on a transplant list, we need to have really good labs. Otherwise, we could get there to the hospital for the transplant. They could send you home because your potassium is up, your phosphorus is up, those kind of things. So in order to eliminate that as a possibility, it's always good when you're celebrating to appreciate and respect those people who have those kind of diseases. I'm specifically talking about that. I'm not talking about if you have diabetes or heart conditions, but the same thing goes for other conditions that people have specific diets that they need to attend to. So I would suggest looking up the dietary restrictions online, and there's several different ways. There's the National Kidney Foundation. If they are going to dialysis at DaVita or Fresenius, I think is how you pronounce it, in Charlotte, North Carolina, you can go to those websites and you can also look it up there. They have recipe books. You can get recipes online. So many different ways now that you can connect with different recipes that would be fine for kidney patients to eat and celebrate everybody with. And then if you want to put other things that other people can eat, you're more than welcome to. But if you're celebrating for that specific person, wouldn't it be really nice to have things that they can eat and enjoy, rather than saying, oh, I can't have that today because it has tomatoes, and I can't have that because it has broccoli, and I'm really not supposed to have soda, and all they have to drink is soda and water, and I just don't feel like water today. So those are the kind of things you need to think about. Other things that you need to think about is basically they tell us not to drink when we are on a kidney diet regime, and if you are on a transplant list. Alcohol is not necessary to put in our bodies, and it's just one more toxin that they prefer that we just don't ingest. So if you're going to have a party and you have people there that you want to be able to celebrate with and want to be able to drink, that's fine. And just remember, you need to have something that the kidney patient, the kidney client can also ingest that is healthy for them. Make it a fun thing, maybe a cranberry spritzer and put a fancy umbrella in it, or a piece of fruit in it. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, I can't drink. Or you could put it in a festive glass, right? And make it look really festive. So there's always little things that you can do to take that extra special care when you're celebrating, to celebrate that person. So think about those kind of things when you're planning parties. Now, the other thing that you may want to think about is you may have some people that come in and you're celebrating that are in wheelchairs or with a walker or with another assistive device like a cane. Maybe they're on oxygen. So if you're planning festivities, you're planning activities, you have to think about what their energy level is like and what they physically can do or mentally can do if they're struggling with their cognition, with their brain and memory, those kind of things. And sometimes kidney patients do have those type of issues along with their disease. So when you're planning a party, what you want to think about is if you're going to take pictures, they're in a wheelchair. They may not be able to stand. So don't invite everybody to come over here and stand in front of this photograph or this picture or whatever, something on the wall that you want to capture with everybody in front of it, and say, everybody, let's stand up and go over there. Because the person that you're celebrating may be in a wheelchair and on oxygen and can't walk, cannot stand up. So you're going to have to think about that. Are you going to do it outside where the wheelchair won't navigate to that place outside that you want to take that lovely picture? Now, they do have some wheelchairs, some walkers that have bigger wheels on them that can go on outdoor services. However, a lot of the wheelchairs and walkers have smaller wheels that are just made for indoor purposes. So if you're having them go on gravel or dirt, sand, or grass, they're not going to be able to navigate that wheelchair unless somebody actually helps them move and may have to actually pick it up. And that could be really heavy if you have an individual in the wheelchair plus the weight of the wheelchair. So when you're taking photographs, you want to think about those kind of things. So if you want to do other activities during a festivity, during a party, again, you have to think about what kind of energy level does this person have that you're celebrating? Are they only able to do a big party and celebrate with all these people and all this commotion and things that might be overwhelming to them as far as their sensory level? So if they can only do an hour or 2 hours, plan for the party that's appropriate for them for an hour or two, or say, so-and-so, grandma's going to come out and celebrate with us for the first hour. We'll do the gifts. We'll do cards. We'll do those kind of things early in the party. And then we're going to let grandma go and be able to rest and do her things. But yet we can stay here and party some more. So again, these are all kind of things that you might not be thinking of when you're putting a celebration together. Maybe it's a family reunion, right? And maybe that family reunion has to do with grandma's birthday or grandpa's birthday. And they're in a cane and they're not very mobile anymore, but they can still get around with a cane. So you can plan more things with them than you could in a different manner if they were in a wheelchair. So let's think about some other things. If it's more of a child, I don't talk too much about pediatric kidney disease because I'm not versed in that too much. I'm more versed in adult because I have polycystic kidney disease. I'm 58. And I started to have major issues about 5 years ago. They say once you get in your 50s, if you have polycystic kidneys like me, that's when it's going to start to affect you. And those kidneys are going to start to grow. And you're going to have to most likely be on dialysis in your 50s. Now, that's not everybody. That wasn't my father. But yes, most of the time, that's their statistics that shows through research. So I'm not very versed in pediatric, but again, the same thing would go for a pediatric patient client. Maybe you want to do pin the tail on the horsey. I'm just trying to think of things that kids used to do for birthday parties. And it's been a long time. My kids are 25 and 23. So it's been a long time since they were little kids where I had to go back and remember what kind of games did they play back then? And now what kind of games do they play? They have so many more options with like video games and all this stuff now that I didn't have when I was a kid. But maybe let's say it's a video game, right? And maybe it's a dance video game. Well, what if the birthday kid is 7-year-old and Matthew is in a wheelchair and he's not able to walk right now? And you have this game set up where you're going to do a video game. And in order to do that dance routine, you have a pad and they're supposed to stand on it. And in order to go to the beat, they're supposed to step on the different sections of the pad, like to make it light up, let's say. That might be something more that would be up to date, I would assume, because I've seen those kind of activities in bowling alley areas where they have all the games for the kids to play. But again, like I said, it's been a really long time. So please be considerate of these people that we are celebrating. Now, when we're talking of big and little wins, I was going to say wounds. I don't celebrate a wound. I want to celebrate small wins and large wins, big wins, right? Yay, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. Oh, I forgot to put my party hat on. I may have to come back out and underneath this video when I post it, I'll put my party hat on. Maybe I'll bring out two, one that I had for one of my birthday parties and another one that is really crazy that lights up for the second birthday party that I have. I celebrate my birthday for a whole month. So that's one thing that I do for fun is I wear crazy hats to celebrate. And you may have, another idea what you do to celebrate. And what about wins like you had a transplant, a kidney transplant? That's a lot to celebrate. And the occasions of the anniversary of that date of the transplant. That's huge. If you've been 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, I heard of 20 and 30 years down the road having a transplant. Those are big, big wins to celebrate. Now, let's say it's little wins. What would be a little win that you could think of that, would be good to celebrate? This isn't a small win, and it's still another win, let's say. I don't know if it's a small one, though. Getting on the transplant list. That's a big thing to celebrate because not everybody gets on the transplant list. You would think you would just sign up. And I had that assumption when I was still working as a physical therapist at a nursing home. I thought I just signed up to be on the list and automatically I was on the list. Whoa, and I'm in the healthcare field and I still thought that. So think about the layperson that doesn't know a lot about the medical care that we get in the States, or specifically kidney care, specifically transplants and transplant lists. There is so much to it. So I assumed I just signed up and I was on it. No, there's all this stuff that you have to go through, all these testings, all these things. You even have to show monies that you can pay for the care after you get that kidney to take care of it, with all the expenses of the pharmaceutical medications and the doctor's visits, the tests year after year after year. You're just not going to get a kidney and that's going to be it. And you're going to go back to normal. No, you have to care for that kidney, just like when you buy a car. Do you not have to do maintenance to that car? Sure you do, right? And to keep that car going, you have to take care of it. If you don't take care of it, if you don't put gas in that car, if you don't take it to get your tires rotated, those kind of things, it's going to break down. So we don't want our kidneys to break down. So we got to take care of them. And they expect us to have that money and show it up front in order to even get on the list. Yeah, we're talking big stuff here. So maybe a little win is it's been the first time since COVID and they got out to get their nails and their toes a mani-pedi done or got their hair done. I could see that as a small win because we've been inside a lot. And we finally started to come outside and realize, yeah, there are other people that are out here and they're socializing. And maybe if you're on the transplant list, you've been weary even about going out in public these days. And maybe you're still a homebody because of that, because they do have peaks and waves of when COVID tends to get worse and better. They say sometimes the new variations that come out of COVID are not as toxic, is not as deadly. However, it's more contagious. So as kidney patients, those are things that we have to watch. So if they go out to get their hair done or their nails done, that could be a really big win for them. That might seem like a really small win for you. And that could be a really big win, right? So think about these things when you're planning parties, when you're thinking about day-to-day things. It keeps us motivated as kidney patients. We're going to dialysis 3 times a week. We're doing peritoneal at home every night for 9 hours. There's lots of different scenarios of what we have to do, or maybe we haven't gotten there yet that we require dialysis, and we still have to take care of the function of the kidneys that we have in our origin, our original kidneys, right? So please think of these accommodations and celebrating life in general. It's so much better when we celebrate life rather than playing victim to having this dis-ease, as I call it, because it's an imbalance of our kidneys in our body. It's so much better to be in gratitude every single day than be feeling sorry for ourselves. So that's the conversation that I wanted to have today, and I'd love to have it with you. I am going to put it on video out on the Facebook page, Best Kidney Support Group, and it's for friends of kidney patients, people who just want to learn more about kidneys, people who have kidney disease, people who have had transplants, multiple transplants, all those different things. And I am smiling back at you today. And if you want to find me on my website, I do lots of other things too, and have lots of other gifts and talents. As you can see, I have this beautiful dress on today. That's as much as you're going to see of it today. And that's from one of my artworks that I did. And I sent it into La Galeriste in Montreal, Canada, a picture of that. And they create a fabric, and then they create a clothing line for me. Maybe that's something you're interested in. And I also do life coaching, and that is transformational life coaching. And I transformed my life when I got kidney disease, because believe it or not, I wasn't going to do any of this. I was going to go on hospice and get out of this crazy place called life. And my kid came to me at 4% kidney function. Yeah, I was getting ready to exit. I had palliative care because of restless legs, couldn't get the opiates to help control that. So I wasn't ready to go on hospice yet. I had been on it one time when I said I wasn't going to do it, and improved and traveled all over the world and came back. And since my kid invited me to stay, I changed my attitude. I changed my mindset. I had to change a lot, 180 degrees, not 360, because I'd be right back where I started from. 180 degrees, and it really significantly made a difference in my life. So I decided to dedicate my life not only to myself and creating my life as I chose to live it, and helping other people to create the life of their dreams, their visions, their desires through transformational life coaching. So you can find me there on my website also. Remember, thecreativelifebydesign.com. So everybody enjoy. In August, we're going to go back to the first Tuesday of the month, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're talking about traveling while on dialysis with peritoneal and in clinic, and also possibly if you're a dialysis patient and you're on oxygen and you want to fly, maybe you want to take the train, maybe you want to take a plane, let's see what else. I think I'm repeating myself here, going in a car. How else could we go? I don't think we're going to hitchhike with all our gear with us. No, I wouldn't advise that. I wouldn't advise riding a tricycle either. No. So I'm going to talk about how to travel. I was in physical therapy, and I worked with clients that were on oxygen in cardiac and pulmonary rehab. And I learned a lot about all the ins and outs of travel. And now being a kidney patient, I have traveled different modes of transportation on PD, or peritoneal dialysis, and I have not gone out of town yet to seek a in-clinic department facility for hemodialysis. And I'm hoping I may have to at some time, or maybe I won't, because I'll get that kidney in first on the list in 3 places. So yay me, that's a big win, right? So again, smiles to everybody out there. I've kept you long enough, but I hope I've kept you interested today. And we will see you again in August, unless you decide to chat with me before then. And I sure hope so. I would love that. Have a great day now, and I am going to stop recording.